Welcome to the Real Health and Fitness Podcast. I'm Weston Spalding, the owner and coach of Real Health and Fitness, an online nutrition and fitness coaching platform, along with in person training. And today I want to talk about 7 different types of workouts you want to have in your back pocket for when you don't know what to do for a workout. Now, I'm big on having a training plan that can be adjusted from day to day, whether based on your time, based on your energy levels, or you just want to mix it up for fun. A lot of times for myself, I have a training program that I make, but then I always am changing it when I'm in there. Still hitting the same muscle groups, but maybe it's making something harder. Maybe it's just switching up how I hit a certain muscle group, or maybe it's even switching up the time because I'm a little shorter on time than usual. Very rarely am I like, oh, I have extra time. I'm going to add some more. But that's always fun when you can do that as well. I'm going to kind of go through these in order of like time frame as well. So from 10 to 15 minute workout to if you had time to do a 90-minute workout. And the first one is a body weight workout. Now, this is one that you can do in like 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how much time you got. If you can buy yourself a pull up bar, that is highly recommended. If you can't do a pull up yet, then there's lots of things you can do to get better at that pull up, like a pull up holds, where you could just get on a chair, jump to the top, and hold for as long as you can. But this body weight workout should be something where it's more of kind of like you just need to get some movement in and get the blood flowing, get some circulation in, especially your legs, but also get some mobility in your thoracic spine and shoulders. Sometimes we just get stuck from that hunched over position all day. And having a body weight workout that you can do either for the workout for your day, or maybe even it's a good finisher. An example would be doing in CrossFit, it's Murph training because Murph is a bunch of running, pull ups, push ups, and air squats. But we're just going to kick out the running. And all you're going to do is do some pull ups, push ups, and air squats. You could do 5 pull ups, 10 push ups, 15 air squats, and try to get as many rounds as possible in 10 minutes. You could bump it to 15 or 20, depending on your time frame. But you could do other things too, like you could do lunges instead of squats. You could do glute bridges on the ground instead of squats. You could do step ups on a box if you have a box at home instead of squats, or you could even do stairs. So just running up and down stairs. That's always a good conditioner, as it really jacks your heart rate when we go up and down stairs. And like for the push ups, you could do a normal push up, an incline push up where your hands are on a bench or the back of the couch. You could do push ups on your knees. Um, or if you want to even mix it up, you could do a pike push up and hit your shoulders more. That's where your butt's high up in the air, your back is straight, and you basically are having your hands right by your head, and you're just pushing up with more your shoulders than your chest. For pull ups, a lot of people struggle with pull ups. So, something else that you could do um, is you could do like Superman's, but you put your hands behind your ears, target the upper back more. That's going to be good, hitting your whole posterior chains or your glutes and your spinal erectors next to your spine. And that's going to be a good one. You could do, I think, pull up holds, like trying to do some sort of pull up. It's going to be great where you jump up to the top and you just hold it for 5 seconds, do like 5 reps of that, little break, 10-second break in between those reps, and then move on to the push ups. So that's a body weight workout that you could do. You can always mix it up. You could do a lot more core, like Russian twist or plank hold or mountain climbers or sit ups. You could throw that in there instead of the pull ups or push ups if you want to hit more of your core. You could do a side plank. You could do, they're called like plank pull throughs. You could like pull a backpack underneath your body as you're holding a plank, go back and forth for about 20 reps. So lots of things you can do for the bodyweight movements. And then going on to the next one is doing a banded workout. So this one, I would do more arms and leg focus, not so much like back, yeah, for banded pull aparts. But probably more arms. I do more like bicep curls, tricep extensions, um, single arm shoulder press with the band, doing some banded pull aparts. Pick about maybe 3 upper body exercises, and then you can do 3 lower body exercises. A couple of good lower body exercises with the bands are banded squats, where you put the band up around your traps and you're doing a squat, so there's more resistance on the way up. Um, really feeling a good burn in those quads and glutes. And then you keep that band up on your traps, and then you do a banded good morning where your back is straight and your hips go straight back. And you're feeling it more in your hamstrings and glutes there as well. That's a really good one, especially if you're sitting at a desk all day. Trying to get those hamstrings activated is going to be really good. And you could also do like a split squat lunge where the band is still around your traps up the top, and you put the band underneath one foot, that front foot, and you do like 8 to 15 banded split squats. So there's a couple of things you can do with the band for your legs. You could also keep it around your traps, put it under both feet, and go one leg out to the side for a banded abduction, targeting your outside your butt, those hip muscles that help you stabilize your knee. You could also do a single leg RDL with that band around your traps and under one foot, where you bring one foot up all the way as you balance on the other foot, hinging at the hip and keeping the back straight. So this banded workout, same thing. You could go 10 to 20 minutes and picking, depending on your time length that you have to work out, picking 2 to 3 upper body movements, 2 to 3 lower body movements, and doing 2 to 3 sets of each of about like 8 to 15 reps, depending on the difficulty of the band. And there's a lot more you can do with the band too, if you have the right attachments to a door frame, or if you're like me and you have a squat rack in your garage, you can always wrap the band around the top of the pull-up bar and use it for a lot of different things there as well. So stay tuned on my like YouTube and Instagram, and I'll be sharing more of like banded exercises that you can do. Great thing about bands too are they make you control the movement on the eccentric. So the eccentric is the lowering of the phase of the movement. The concentric is the contracting phase. So like for a shoulder press, when you press up, that's the concentric phase. When you come back down, that's the eccentric phase. And when we're doing a banded single arm shoulder press, you can't just let the band fall back down to your shoulder. You have to control it using a lot of different muscles around that shoulder joint to help stabilize the band and your shoulder. And sometimes with a dumbbell, we aren't focused enough on that tempo and speed, so we just let it fall down to our shoulder. And sometimes that can cause some nagging pain in the shoulder over time. But that's for all movements where that band is going to make you work both directions. And it's great entry level for anybody who's new to working out. A lot of athletes also use bands because it's less stress on the body or less stress on the joints, but same stimulus on the muscle, depending on the strength of the band and the intensity of the movement. So bands are a great workout, whether you want to do it for the workout of the day, 10 to 20 minutes, or you want to maybe add it into your 60-minute workout at the gym or at home, and you can use it as a finisher as well. A great finisher is just doing high volume of banded bicep curls or banded tricep extensions, get a little pump in those arms at the end of a workout. Next one is going to be dumbbells and kettlebell workout. So you can make this more of a strength workout where we're picking 3 to 6 movements depending on your time. Maybe you have 10 minutes, maybe you have 30 minutes, maybe you have 45 minutes even. You could do a solid 45 to 60-minute workout with just dumbbells and kettlebells. And with these movements, you could make a strength base by doing a set. So let's say I do a goblet squat where I'm holding the dumbbell in front of my chest with both hands. I do 12 goblet squats. All right, giving yourself at least 1 minute rest, 1 to 2 minute rest in between sets, whether you do all 3 sets of squat or you're doing more of a circuit where you go like squat to deadlift to dumbbell bench press, and you're doing a bunch of them at once. But giving yourself rest in between makes it a strength workout. Giving yourself less than 45-second rest between movements makes it a conditioning workout. So if you're short on time, say you got 20 minutes, you could pick 3 to 5 movements and just cycle through those for 20 minutes. Now, if you do 3, you're going to go very high volume. So just keep that in mind as well. If you do pick 3 movements in that 20-minute dumbbell or kettlebell workout, maybe give yourself like a minute rest after each round. So example would be you do 15 goblet squats with a dumbbell, you do 15 shoulder press with 2 dumbbells, and then you do like 15 kettlebell swings, and then you give yourself a minute rest. Now, over 20 minutes, that's going to be a lot of volume. So sometimes I'll even program like, hey, I'm going to do this for 20 minutes or get 6 rounds, because I'll calculate how many reps total I'm doing in the whole workout. And if you're doing more of a cardio based, depending on your skill level, you probably gonna be somewhere between 50 and 100 reps in the whole workout for a single movement. If you're doing like an AMRAP, and beginners, I would keep it at like 40 to 50 reps, intermediate somewhere in the 50 to 70 range, and then advanced athletes that have a lot of body awareness and experience and muscular endurance and strength, you could push it to 70 to like 100 reps in that workout for just one movement. So something like doing 100 shoulder press, your shoulders are going to be fried. It's more of a CrossFit based style. So if you're not that experienced with it, I would do the strength training dumbbell or kettlebell session first, where you do 3 to 4 sets of every movement, doing 8 to 12 reps with each of those movements. And you can get a good solid workout in 30 minutes. And kettlebells, I could do a whole podcast about kettlebells. We'll get to that at a different point, but kettlebells are great. I love the kettlebell deadlift, kettlebell swings, single arm, kettlebell suitcase deadlift, and then all the upper body stuff too, from just a single arm kettlebell shoulder press to half kneeling kettlebell windmills to the snatch and the clean with kettlebell, which is a little more technical, and you definitely want to learn those movements before doing them on your own. So dumbbell and kettlebell workouts could be anywhere from 10 to even 60 minutes. But I feel like a lot of people will be around that 30 to 45-minute range when they do just kettlebell and dumbbell workout. The fourth one is a machines workout. So if you got a gym membership, machines are great. I actually would pick dumbbells and kettlebells before machines, just because it takes a lot more core stability to use those dumbbells and kettlebells. But machines are great just for like mixing it up and kind of not having to think too much about what you're going to do for the day. So sometimes I'll do a machine workout where I'm like, I just need to, get a lift in, but I want to like push my muscles. I want to target the muscles. So if you're more of like toning up, like bodybuilding type of style of training, or you just want to do it for fun, you can also do machines for strength, but they're going to be more for hypertrophy. So building a larger muscle than developing that strength of muscle. I would always do a leg press when I do machines. So whether you're lying with your back down facing the floor, or you are parallel to the floor as you press out with those feet, you can always do a different variation of the leg press. And sometimes it's like the machine where you just take the clip out, put the clip on the weight you want. Sometimes it's a plate loaded machine where you got to take the plates and load it onto the machine. But machines are great because they're going to make you target the right muscles. You're not going to have to worry about having a neutral spine, because you usually have a seat that's going to help you keep that neutral spine. And it's going to target just the main muscles that you want to target. You don't have to worry about, like in a workout with barbell squats of, you don't feel it in your legs because you're not stabilizing your core and your back's feeling it. So machines are good for just targeting that muscle specifically. If I was going to program a workout for machines, a lot of times, I'd pick 3 to 4, depending on the goal of the athlete, for legs. So you could do like leg press, leg extension, some hamstring curl, and then like a calf machine. And then you could also throw in the abduction machine as well as a finisher at the end if you really want to hit legs hard that day. And then, with those 3 to 4 leg exercises, you could pick 2 to 3 upper body exercises from anything that's a press. So a press would be flat bench, bench press. Most of the time that's going to be loaded plates with that machine. Or you could do a seated chest press where you just see like in a normal chair, like I am right now, and you're just pressing straight out. That might be a machine or plate loaded machine, or the incline chest press as well. And then you could always throw in a shoulder press. So I'd pick like one of those, whether you want to target the chest or the shoulders. And then I would pick at least one back exercise where it's a lat pull down with a bar, a seated chest row, a machine lat pull down. What else is there? You can always mix up the grips too if you do the cable machines for the seated row or the lat pull downs. It's going to hit different muscles in your back. There's also the seated back extension where you're seated in a chair and there's the roller on your back and you can lean back and it's going to target your lower back. So that's a good one to do as well. Some people, have certain comments about certain machines. I'm like, hey, if you're a beginner, let's get moving. Let's do moderate weight and let's just go from there and build you. And then we can get into the weeds of what's going to be most effective and what's not. When you're a beginner, everything is most effective. You will progress off of doing anything. If you haven't worked out in a while, haven't been consistent in a while, if you just stay consistent 2-3 times a week, you will get stronger off of doing literally anything. Our bodies are adaptable. When we work out, our bodies literally think we are killing them. So that's why we build muscle, because we don't want to die in the next workout. So your body is always adapting. And it's good stress. Workout is a good stress. It's not a bad stress. And you get all the healthy endorphin hits when you go work out. So just do some machines. If you do machine workout, do about 6 to 8 machines, and that'd be a great workout for that day. The fifth one is a barbell workout. This one I would highly recommend getting a coach if you have never lifted a barbell before. 9 times I go into a Vasa Fitness Center and seeing people squat wrong, deadlift wrong, barbell bent over row wrong, bench wrong. It makes me cringe. And barbell, though, is going to change your body the most because you can load the most weight on it and you can do a lot of things with the speed of it too. You can do holds, you can do eccentrics, you can do chains, you can add bands. Some people add bands when they do barbells. Very advanced lifters do that. I think everybody should learn how to front or back squat. Front squat is great for core and back strength and stability. Everybody should learn how to deadlift. Actually, I see back squat. Not everybody maybe should squat, depending on injuries and the lengths of like legs and body, stuff like that. I think you should try it to get to where you can. Not everybody's going to be able to get to depth of like hips to the knee because some people have longer legs, like a 6'8" basketball player. Maybe they have mobility to get down there. I don't think I'd ever take them there just because in a basketball game, they're never going to be that low. And we want to work the muscle, not the joint. So if you ever are squatting with a barbell and you feel it in the joints more, don't go as low. Focus on your core stability, work on the mobility over time. And that's an unpopular opinion in CrossFit because it's all about range of motion, hidden depth. I can get into that another time. Not saying there's anything wrong with forcing that and trying to push to that, but it really just depends on your goals. If you're an athlete, you need to focus on being strong for your sport and having the correct range of motion to stay injury free. You're not competing like in CrossFit or powerlifting where you have to hit certain range of motion markers for the rep to count. With barbell too, I think everybody should learn how to deadlift or trap bar deadlifts because we're picking up stuff all the time. And a lot of us have weak backs, weak cores. This can be a great one for strengthening that. And then everybody loves bench press. I mean, that's why we all do it. We just love to see how much we can bench press. But barbell shoulder press, I feel like, is going to be very beneficial because especially as we get older, we don't put our hands above our head as much. And having that strength is going to be super important, not from just everyday life, but even just think like, when you have kids or nieces and nephews or grandkids, like you want to lift them up and put them over your head, you should be strong in that position, in my opinion. Last two, just going to run through these real quick, is a sprint workout. This doesn't mean you have to sprint on your own feet. If you have not ran in a long time, you need to build up to that. And that'll be more the endurance workout, which I'm going to go over next. But sprint workouts could be like on a bike, on a rower, with the jump rope, just going like 10 to 30 seconds max. But you really want to kind of stick to that. Honestly, even like 5 to 20 seconds of doing a hard sprint and then giving yourself enough rest afterwards. So it's like a 1-to-6 or 1-to-10 ratio. So if you were to sprint for 10 seconds on a bike, then you would rest or do like an easy recovery for 60 seconds, or even what would that be 100 seconds, so it'd be like a minute 40. So you give yourself plenty of rest so you can hit it hard every 10 seconds max effort. These workouts sometimes take a long time just because the rest is so long, but you need max effort like to your extreme exhaustion in that 10 seconds, everything you've got. A lot of people hold back. A lot of people are afraid of dying. Don't be afraid of dying in the workout. It's good because then you come back and you'll be stronger next time. But you got to be able to push through when you do those sprint workouts. If you haven't done sprint workouts in a while, you could do a couple where you kind of ramp it up the intensity. So maybe week 1, you do about 70% effort on those bike sprints. Week 2, 80%. Week 3, 90%. You try to work up to that 100% sprint on that bike. Last one is endurance workout. For it to be an endurance workout, whether it's bike, walking, jogging, rowing would be a very hard one to do here because your butt would just get so sore. But it could also be, what else? Swimming. You want it to be, say, at least 30 minutes, but I think you got to make it 45 minutes to an hour and a half of a zone 2 steady rate, steady state cardio, where you could talk while you're doing this. You should leave this workout feeling like you could have gone harder, but you want to go 45 to 90 minutes because that's going to help build your mitochondria in your body. Those are the powerhouse of the cell. You're going to feel this benefit in your weight training. So you're going to be able to recover quicker between sets. You're going to notice you have more energy throughout the day. If you play sports, you're going to be able to last longer. You're going to be able to recover quicker between sprints. And this is a very boring because you just literally are going at the same pace for those 45 to 90 minutes. It could be a real mental battle, just, locking in. I like to listen to music, but, you could watch a show as well. This would be great if you got a bike in your living room, ride the bike, watch a show, boom, you did a zone 2 cardio. So don't worry about crushing yourself in those endurance workouts. Build up mitochondria and see the benefits from that. So that's all I want to talk about today. If you want detailed workouts, I'm going to write about this in my next newsletter. So hit the link below, subscribe to my newsletter. You'll get health and fitness information, whether that's with food, with training, with mindset, or other things surrounding health and fitness. I'm going to be writing a lot more this year. It's my goal to become a writer. All right. I feel like that's where I shine the most. Microphone, that's my brother. That's Wyatt Spalding. Go follow him as well. Life with Wyatt Spalding on YouTube. This podcast is not sponsored by Life with Wyatt Spalding, but we'll give him a shout out because, he's okay. But go ahead and follow this channel if you don't follow yet. Appreciate the support, and I hope that this helps, and see you next time.